The guy who used to play Hercules on TV, an actor named Kevin Sorbo, went on Steve Malzberg's show on Newsmax TV. They get roughly 8 viewers. Not kidding, I actually saw the Steve Malzberg's show when they posted on YouTube. Seriously, they get like 8 views per show. Like, nobody watches it. I wonder how this guy gets paid. Like, how do they structure his payment system? Because he's certainly not generating any income. But anyway, they decided to go after Bill Maher, and it's kind of hilarious and kind of sad.
But Bill Maher is, he's the reason I don't have HBO. He owns a minority share of the New York Mets, which how he gets away with that. I mean, could Rush Limbaugh own a minority share of any team? He tried football once. Yeah. They wouldn't let him in. But play this cut. He was on his show. He was trashing the movie Noah. Yeah. And he was talking about how ridiculous it is that people believe in God. And then he started trashing God. Mm-hmm. Here it is.
Hey, God, you know you're kind of a d when you're in a movie with Russell Crowe and you're the one with anger issues. You know, conservatives are always going on about how Americans are losing their values and their morality. Well, maybe it's because you worship a guy who drowns babies. And then God's genius plan after he kills everyone is to repopulate the world with a new crop of the same assholes who him off the first time. With predictable results. He kills millions more. If we were a dog and God owned us, the cops would come and take us away. Why are we getting our morals out of this book? Why do people follow any of it? Hey, God, you know you're...
All right, I guess I was starting over again.
Yeah.
So your reaction?
You know, I did politically incorrect a couple times, and all I can do is feel sad for the guy because I think he's a very angry, lonely man, and he takes comedy comes from anger anyway, and you know, what are you going to say when a guy talks like this? And I wonder what happened to him in his lifetime that has such a hate. Because the atheists I've met, not all of them are angry. I've got some very good friends who are atheists, and they just don't believe. They simply don't believe. We've had great debates about it and things like that. There's no reason to even to try to talk to a guy like that because he has so much hate.
No, there's no reason to talk to a guy like you because you have no intelligence. Well, you're focusing. Why are you trying to make this personal? Did you notice that? They immediately tried to make it personal. First of all, everything Maher says is directly from the Bible. He's referencing specific things from the Bible. He's talking about, hey, look, in this part, God goes around and commits genocide. In this part, he goes around and rips the baby out of the stomachs of all the girls in a certain town. By the way, isn't that God performing abortions? Right-wingers? I thought the Bible was against abortion. What happened? God actually performs abortions in the Bible? What's going on here? That seems to be the opposite of what you guys claim. In this part of the Bible, God's a psychopathic killer. In this part, he does actually drown babies. So what he's doing is he's going directly to the Bible and refuting it with humor and saying, well, how about we don't support murder as a society? How's that for a crazy idea? How about we stand up against murder and genocide and all these backwards insane things? And also, I don't know if you heard it there was laughter in the background. Yes, he's a comedian and he's making people laugh. So how did Kevin Sorbo and how did this other jackass, Steve Malzberg, get that Bill Maher is angry and lonely out of that? And how did they get that they feel sorry for him? I mean, what exactly there leads you to believe that he's angry and lonely? And what makes you think that something happened to him? Something had to happen to him in his childhood because he doesn't agree with you? This is something that we talked about the other day on the show, that whenever people can't stand up man-to-man with you and have an intellectual discussion, have an intellectual debate, what do? They have to pivot to stupid little things like this, where they say, oh, no, stop, just sit down and relax. Look, we get it, you're a broken person. That's essentially what they're saying here. Oh, you're a broken person, Bill. It's okay. We know something happened to you. We know you're defective. We know that something's off in your head and, you know, you just haven't graduated. That's how they view it. Oh, you're an atheist? Oh, you're an agnostic? Oh, you don't believe? Oh, poor you. Well, maybe someday you'll see the light and you'll graduate to our plateau, which is higher than yours. It's this incredibly condescending looking down at you and just pitying you, when, of course, the opposite is true. Of course, the only reason nowadays that anybody is an atheist is for intellectual reasons. It's because they actually picked up the Bible and read it and said, this is bullshit. Wow, none of this actually fucking happened. Do you know they talk about the earth being flat in here? We know the earth isn't flat. So how the fuck can anybody believe this? This is crazy. Or whether you pick up the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran. It's always amazing to me that these guys are 100% atheistic when it's other people's holy books. Bhagavad Gita, false, silly, not even going to pay attention to it. There's no evidence for it. Quran, no evidence for it. Get away, stupid, stupid, stupid. The Greek gods, the Roman gods, don't make me laugh. That's clownish. Scientology, Mormonism, celebrity religions. Look at these guys believing stupid things. But my book, oh, don't talk about that. That's true. It's true that there are three people or one person. God is the Trinity. God is Jesus, and they're somebody else too. And then you got a virgin birth that happened, and the burning bush, and the talking snake, and the whole world was flooded, and every animal in the world was on the boat, and Noah survived, and the world is 6,000 years old, and the stars in the night sky are actually little bits of heaven that are shining through from above it, and seven-headed dragons, all this stuff. Yeah, totally real. My mythology is totally true, and if you don't believe it, something's wrong with you. But the other ones, they're false, and we're not even going to pay attention to them. The main point to make here is that did you notice a single actual rebuttal in their response there? A single refutation. Like, no, let me explain to you why I think Bill Maher is factually incorrect on this point. Exhibit A. No, there's none of that. That's my point, man. That's my point. They're the sad ones. These are the guys we should pity. These are the guys that are likely angry and lonely. Okay? Maher's trying to have an intellectual discussion where he points things out to you, and you can't even have the intellectual discussion because you'll get fucking crushed. So you pivot to, oh, silly little man, something had to happen to you. Something had to happen. We get it. Just go away. Just leave us alone. We don't subscribe to HBO. We're standing on principle. Oh, what a big person you are. Yes. How strong and smart of you.